Welcome! You are in Casa da Videira. Casa da Videira is a small community in downtown Curitiba, southern Brazil. We want to show you our garden and what we are doing from that garden to inspire people to other kinds of life. Casa da Videira is not a project or a proposal. We are an answer, or we try to be an answer to the contingencies of life. What I mean when I explain this. Life sometimes bring to you crises, or bring you into crises or dilemmas or contingencies or predicaments, things that can happen. The image of the modern man normally says that, things never happen. Everything have been the way it is, will be ever, and never will change. But both in personal life or in our world, contingencies are really what's common, what's happening all the time, things that you're not prepared for. For example, now, when I'm recording this small video for you, we are in the middle of the biggest crisis our generation ever imagined that could happen. A pandemic that spread throughout the world, and now 4 billion people in the world are kept inside of their homes. So, where are the projects, the strategic planning, and things that could control our lives and that over which we could have control? They are no more. The world has changed. And how to answer to these contingencies? People are not going to the universities, not going to the work. The economy is going to probably the worst depression in more than a century. And we have specialized in Casa da Videira to answer to contingencies, to answer to things that nobody expects. And where could be better to answer than in a garden? We are specialized on what is called normally urban farming, but I prefer urban gardening, because even ontologically, ontogenetically, or phylogenetically, or theologically, we are beings from the garden. And every time we need to start all over again, where could be better than in a garden? In the garden around me that you're seeing, we have more than 80 different non-conventional edible plants. The plants that you're seeing around, some you can recognize, but the majority are plants that nobody used to have anymore. You can't find them in the supermarket. To give you an example, we have 10 adult people here, 10 adults living out of this garden, having a bakery. We are making our living out of this small garden here. We are producing more food than 10 people can eat, and we are offering to our animals. In front of me we have goats, we have chickens, and where we are, we're not in the countryside, we're in the downtown, in this very center of the city. We are in the traditional neighborhood where the city has started years ago. And we are transforming this that once was an abandoned backyard into a source of life. And why we do what we do? We have at least 3 different reasons. One is theological, one is economic, another is social. In theological terms, the garden is where our history starts as a civilization. When we became really Homo sapiens, or a man full of wisdom and conscience of ourselves and of the transcendent, we were put into a garden. We have existed before, but we only became human beings when we have been put in a garden, where we could mold, transform, and help the environment to thrive, to be more fruitful, and to start a life in abundance. We started a life in abundance in the garden, and this is a theological statement. We are basically gardeners that have been put into a garden by a gardener. The first revelation about God, besides Him being a creator, is that He is a gardener. So the garden is the place where we start to obey and to serve. The second reason that I could say could be economic. We have exchanged value for price. We have put price in things. So we have lost the value that is intrinsic, that belongs to people, to things, to plants, to animals, and we have put price in everything. And because we have put price in everything, we stopped valuing things. We stopped planting because it's much easier to go to the market, to get a job, make money, and buy the food. And in doing this, we have come into a trap. We entered a trap that now is exposed by a virus that you can't see, but it's exposed. Where's the supermarket? Where's the industrialized food that we are used to? No, we were not supposed to have this kind of food in our bodies. We are not supposed to be sick with that. And in economic terms, we are focused on planting wealth. The only source of wealth is sun, dirt, and water, and human work. When you put together these four elements, sun, water, dirt, and human work, you create real wealth. And in this wealth, as the Bible says, is priceless. You can't put a price in this. The value is not only immense, it's eternal. And from here, we are having 10 adults, all then with PhD or master's degrees or, graduate from schools and universities. And we have no job, and we are not focused on making money, but investing our time to create wealth. The social reasons for that is that we are living in a dismembered world where today, and every day, 1 billion people in the world will sleep without eating. They are immigrants, they are suffering wars, they are oppressed in big cities. For example, here in Brazil, we have 70 million people under the poverty line. People that are not, part of the market, that are impeded to be independent and having their lives. From this house as a center, we are going around, spreading good news to immigrants that come from poorest countries than ours, that move to our country in search for a chance in life. We can feed people, we can help people to thrive, and we are even in the world of money creating structures that we can provide investment and opportunities for those guys to start having their own lives and become inserted in the lifestyle that is minimum for support the families, children, women and men. From the West, we have learned this idealistic perspective of life, where everything is a dream, an ideal. You must be optimistic. We are not optimistic. We are not idealistic, and we are, as I said, not dreamers. We must learn how to be an economist for not only for the 21st century, but the world after the coronavirus. We are very simple, as I said. We are not rich, we are not, special, but we have done a lot in the last 20 years. We have learned a lot. We have stopped thinking about them ourselves as the saviors of the world or heroes for a cause. We have no cause. We're not heroes. God do not need heroes. And we are not here trying to transform other people's worlds, but we are transforming our worlds, and with this, giving hope to those around us and say, hey, you can do with your hands, and to path a way outside of a system that's very oppressive. And with this, taking care of the environment, taking care of the soil, the water, the energy, immense use that we have in our society, and showing that another world is not only possible, but it's happening in front of our nose, at the reach of our hands, when we put our hands on the soil. I'm only the spokesman here. I'm only the one that's trying to contact to you and talk to you in another language, not my mother language, but saying to you, there is hope when you put your hands on dirt and you start copying what God has done to be a gardener. Come with us and count on us. Bye-bye.